Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. So today what we are doing is we are doing a reaction video to a worst reviewed makeup artist. Now we haven't watched these before. We have watched a lot of Julie D videos and I will watch more of hers because I mean I watch her all the time, but I always have to like save one for a reaction and I just want to watch them as soon as they come out. But today we're watching someone different who I've never watched before, and that is GUESMIA. I believe that's how you say her name. Apologies if it's wrong, but I've really tried. And she also does some worst reviewed videos. So we're gonna watch a new one today and see what we think. I've never watched her videos before, so I'm actually quite excited. I'm gonna watch the whole video, but of course I'm gonna cut this down to the parts that I think are most significant. So I'll leave a link below to the original video so you can watch the whole thing. And let's just do it. Just before we get into that today, if this is your first time here, hello, my name is Robert Welsh. I'm a professional makeup artist with, oh my God, it's 17 or 18 years. How old am I? I've been doing makeup professionally for 17 years. Oh, every year I add on another year and it makes me feel older and older. And it is my goal here on YouTube and all my other social media platforms to kind of like separate what we see online as more like entertainment makeup, you know, like people dropping things on their face and eating their foundation, you know, like the stuff that maybe perhaps doesn't work in real life. And that's why sometimes you might think, oh, it doesn't work for me, because actually it only really works online in front of good lighting. And then separating that from the stuff that works in real life, it's my goal to help you become a pro yourself or just someone who's really good at makeup. So do consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing. And as I always like to say in these reaction videos, makeup, no I don't. Creativity and individuality have no rules. But makeup has a theory, and these videos are for people who want to learn that theory. So like I said, if something's not working for you, maybe I can help out a little bit. And what I think is important looking at these videos is seeing how we live in this kind of era where makeup is most definitely something that people want to make money from, monetize. So as soon as makeup became mainstream, really popular, it's always been mainstream, you know what I mean. With the rise of popularity with makeup on social media, came along all these people calling themselves makeup artists. Which is great. I don't believe you have to be professionally trained to be a makeup artist as long as you get particular things right, mainly hygiene, but we'll look at that in these videos. I'm sure there'll be an issue. But some people just take people's money and give them a terrible service. And I think by watching these videos, we can see what can be corrected, what you should be looking for, especially on really important days like your wedding. I'm babbling, let's get into it.
Faut que tu me donnes ton numéro parce que comment je peux envoyer avec le WhatsApp.
So just by initially watching this like skincare application, now there may be this, I've said this before, and this might be like, people will be like, what? Don't be offended. I'm just saying this in a way that's like, I've noticed something. I think there's a very clear difference in the way that people who learn makeup through beauty therapy do makeup, and people who learn makeup through a makeup course, editorial and everything like that do makeup. Now, from that facial massage kind of, well, not done very well, but there's elements of facial massage in there. I'm assuming this person, the artist, has studied some kind of beauty. And I mean that by like facials, what else? Beauty therapy things, waxing, all that kind of stuff. And makeup is almost like a side bit of that, where it's like, yeah, you learn makeup, but you learn the very basics. So it'll be interesting to see how this continues, especially with something more graphic like we saw. Okay, straight up, that's too much product already. That's too much product already. Building things up on the eyes, especially a base, a primer, a small amount, that stuff, it creases. We get creasy up there. A small amount at a time and then build that up, because that's gonna be way too much. How long are we gonna spend blending this out? Tiny bit blend, tiny bit blend, just as a precaution, just precautionary, you know? I'm confused and concerned. Confused because, here's the deal, eyes first, absolutely. If I'm doing a client, I never do the skin first. I prep the skin in terms of skincare. Foundation, concealer, all of that goes on after eyes. Save yourself time, fall out, you never know. But what's happening here is, I couldn't tell you actually. She's putting down the base, but I mean, we can see on the right side, there's still streaks. Blend it in, my friend, blend it in. And also, we didn't have to go up here with excess product, because now where are we gonna blend this? Tiny, tiny bit, blend it out, tiny, tiny bit, blend it out, brush, whatever, fingers, clean fingers. But now we're either gonna have to blend this in place until it blends into where it is, which is gonna give us too much product on the eyelid. Putting too much product on the eyelids is like putting, I don't know, oh God, what's a good like, it's like putting a glass of water on the corner of a table and then getting a cat and putting a cat on a table and being like, yeah, don't push that off. That was the worst comparison, but you know what I mean. Like, like it's almost like we're putting trust in something that's bound to crease, bound to fall, bound to break. No! Okay, so this one dot in the inside corner, we could have used that on the lid. We could have used that under the eyes. It would have spread everywhere if we had just blended it. This is why I never go onto the lids with a flat brush when I'm prepping the lids with primer and things like that. Maybe very occasionally if it's a little bit more liquidy. I prefer to use my fingertip or a fluffy eyeshadow brush because we can buff it in a little bit more. Primer shouldn't be a layer of product. It should be a veil. It should be a suggestion. It should be slightly color correcting and making sure all it's there to do is to make sure your colors come out in the purest form and your eyeshadow doesn't crease and you get longevity. It doesn't need to be a mask like this. If you were about to put a mask of product on your face like this, you'll be like, okay, that's not gonna last very long. Now imagine on the eyelids where it creases. Okay. No makeup school teaches you that as well. Sorry, just to say, no makeup school. That's a learn from online thing. She has incredible skin, absolutely incredible. I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot of product happening. If you have nice skin and you want full coverage, great, but there's full coverage and then there's like, calm down coverage. That sponge was dirty before she put it on her face. And here's the deal, right? Sponges do kind of stain, but as a professional, throw that sponge away. Include the price of a cheap sponge in your price. Get one from Amazon, £1, $1. Include that in your price because that is unhygienic and disgusting and you can never be too careful when you're working professionally on clients. Now, sorry, unless we're gonna, I've stopped 1 billion times and all we've done is put something on the eyelids. Now, if we're gonna apply mascara, right, unless she is going to clean those lashes, you have put a product that contains moisturizing ingredients on, because every concealer, foundation, so unless we're gonna completely clean it off those lashes, good luck to the mascara. Let's get rid of that crease before we apply any product on the eyelid because we might set that crease in place. And the point, I mean, it's been on for how long? I know it seems like an hour because I keep stopping it, but it's been on for what? 2 minutes and it's creased already. That's not what's meant to happen. It's meant to stop creases. It's me, I'm stopping it again. Pencil, let's just talk about pencils very quickly. I don't know, she sanitized it off camera, but when we're using a pencil on someone, a client, whoever, sharpen, sanitize again, dry. Now we can use it. Also, can you see the pencil? Because we've got such a thick, heavy base down, drawing directly onto that now with a pencil, it's like drawing on top of wet. It's drawing on top of wetness. Like it's not gonna come out to its full color potential. Also gonna slip and slide. Can you see it's running out of color? It's running out of color because it's covered in the primer. Concealer, I think it is. It's a different shade to the other side. I think it's a really nice idea when you're, really nice idea. Of course you can do someone's makeup with their eyes closed, but don't pull and tug like that because you're changing the shape of the eye. Unless your client is gonna sit around like this all night, there's no point in doing that. I just ruined my makeup now. Let's just look here as well, right? We've done all that prep around the eyes and look at that fallout under the eye on the right-hand side. It'll be interesting to see how she's gonna deal with that. I just really want to know. Was a picture shown of what she wanted before this? Or was she like, do whatever you want? I'm so confused. Because it's quite a bold thing to do. I also I also do feel like when you're doing a structure and things like that, graphic liners, unless it's along the lash line and if it's easy for you to do, try and do it with the eyes open because that's how it's going to be. So when the eyes are open, that's what you're going to see. So try and do it with the eyes open because now we don't, like her lid's going to open. How much space do we have between this chunk of blue and now this dodgy line of blue? Sorry. This is also why I don't like clients laying down. Again, that's a very beauty therapy-ish thing. I like to have, like kind of how I'm sitting now on a chair looking into a mirror, because then I can stand behind them and look into the mirror also, check my symmetry, check if they're okay. I can gauge their reaction when I do so. I put a lipstick on them and I do this. I know to change it, you know? Or you a little bit more like that. And you can also move around them. And it's the symmetry. When someone's laying down, you either have to be this side or this side, unless you get on top of them and look and like, is everything symmetrical? You can't quite get the same view, you know? Blue and orange combination I really love together. Beautiful. However, this dip should be done with eyes open because now she's going to open her eyes. The top of this lid is going to be further up and this area here. So now when she opens her eyes, that dip is going to seem closer to here. She might lose some of the detail on the top and it's going to just look like some dip going like this out of nowhere. This is why this should be done with her eyes open. That dip, it dips too far down. When she opens her eyes, all that detail, that swipe is going to be gone. Well, gone, it's not going to be the best shape. And the thing, again, without doing it with eyes open, symmetry. It's gone further down on the other side already because you can't see the other side. Look, this side doesn't reach this corner. That side comes right down to the corner of the eye. Okay. I'm sorry, I keep pausing it. I mean, that's the point of videos, right? So the watches are now about orange. Absolutely fine. However, there's a few things you want to consider. Consider the first. You've taken it really far in. You're hollowing out that eye shape. How is that going to look if I look down like this? How is it going to look if I look over there? Are we hollowing out the eyes to a point where it looks a little bit more tired? Even with an orange, that can happen. See how skinny it's making that middle of the nose? What are we going to do with the nose later on? Are we going to continue that down? What I would have done is taken a smaller blending brush, something really, really tiny like this one, and gone right along the edge of that blue. So yes, we still have that orange detailing, but it's not come all the way in. And we can add to that later on after we've done the whole thing and after we've done the brows as well, because how are we going to do the brows? Are the brows going to come in to meet that inside of the eyeshadow look, or are they is it going to stop right there? We're literally hollowing out. If you're like Halloween and you're like, oh, I want to make myself a zombie, you hollow out that area because it makes you look tired. Eyes open, eyes open. That's further down than it looks. That's gonna, when she opens her eyes, that's gonna be further down than it looks. Wait, what? So we've put a random blob of gold. Okay, so if we're gonna do a blue lid, right, and we want to add some sparkle to it, we go on top with a white sparkle, maybe something with a purple in it, maybe something silver, you know. However, what we don't do is go across and add a yellow tone to it, or unless it's more like a glitter, you know, unless you can see through it like a topper. This is still a solid color, so together they look a little bit, there's a bit like, oh, you know. Why are we adding more? Why? Oh, she's trying to, okay. So I think she's trying to clean up under her eyes with more concealer. To be honest with you, you're better off just wiping it away and adding a new product. Why are we color correcting on top of concealer? The amount of concealer we've done there could block out the sun. There is more than enough. We don't need a color. What are you color correcting? Orange color corrector to color out tones of blue, deep tones under the eye. Where is that? From the eyeshadow? An unnecessary step, again, that is taken from social media. Like, I'm sorry, but to use it like that, you must not know what it does, the need for it. It's just a product that you think is necessary for some reason. Like that's... Where's it gone? Like... Okay, I can't.
T'as les yeux, il y en a quelque chose à l'intérieur?
Non, non, j'ai rien. Pourquoi?
Non, juste, je demande.
Pourquoi? Ah, j'ai quelque chose ici. Hein.
Why would she put something in her eyes? I don't know. It's all that product going into your eyes. It's on her lashes. It's on her lid. It's on her waterline. We can see it here. It's too much. Control it. Control it. Two color matches to two testers, two samples. Listen, I'm not against if you have to get loads of samples and empty them into pots, do it. I just always think your kit should look professional. So you know what? Find 100 samples, pour them into pots or into squeezy little things so it looks professional. You know what I mean? No one will know it's a sample. No one will know it's 100 samples. She just wipe like oil on her forehead. She did. That is what you call beating your face. Here's a tip, right? Stick that little finger up. It's gonna alter your grip. Stick that finger up, whatever you're doing. If you want to be light-handed, soften those wrists. Stick that little finger up, and you got a light hand, you know? Whereas if you got this versus this, that sample went a long way though. Good sample. Ooh, made me shiver. Now, do I like the way this is being done? No, absolutely not. But I don't blame the artists for thinking this is a correct way to do it, because that's exactly how people do it online. And if we're being real, this skin isn't going to turn out much different to how a lot of people that we will probably follow, do it online anyway. Also, where's it going? Where's it going? It's in our highlight region. It's in our blush region. This technique of going around the jawline, bring it up a little bit on the chin, isn't a bad thing to do. It's definitely not wrong per se. The way she's doing it is contouring, suggestion of shadow, not literally drawing on a shape. You know, if that was blended in nicely, perhaps that's a good technique for underpainting. However, if that was blended on a little bit more, it'll be a nice structure to the jawline. I would personally bring it up and wrap it up here, just so it cuts off the edges of the jawline, just to be consistent with how massive she's done the blush, bronzer, contour, whatever it is. But yeah, now that looks like a chin strap. It looks superhero-esque. Why, excuse me, please, what is this and why didn't we just use that in the first place? That whole chunk wasn't done blending, and now we're setting it with a powder in place. We might be adding more color, but we're adding powder to a cream product. We are setting it in place. It's going in your hair, I can't help it, you can. You can absolutely help that, let me tell you. Your hand, the artist's hand, right here. I've done it many times, many times, and then just clean your hands afterwards. Too much, it's too much, stop, fucking stop. Stop, stop, stop. You're using a brush with all the products you've just used in it, and now you're going in with an orange, even more orange blush. Beautiful with your eye look. I mean, it would go great with your eye look. Orange, orange, orange. But let's concentrate now where we're putting that blush. You need... It's going everywhere. We've covered everything now. Layer your product, stack your cheek products so it's not one big muddy blur of product. Look at that patchiness. Products don't know what they're doing with themselves. Oh, fuck my life, fuck my life. Products work, but you have to help them work. Now we're going in with orange eyeshadow on top of a million different textures. The brush needs to be bigger because you're using a smaller eyeshadow brush for concentration of product in that area. This is why we use bigger brushes for blush. Cream, not so much. Powder though, needs to be buffed out. She's going to dinner. What's happening? What's happening? With this what's going? This side isn't even as orange as the other side yet. If we're gonna do it, let's match it up at least. Now we're going with a completely different product with contour highlight. That brown is about to look muddy as fuck. So is that pink and so is that white tone. Look how muddy. Instant mud. Dirt. Please stop. Please, Jesus Christ. What's happening? What is going on? She's dipping into every color. Now we're going into this yellow. Oh, this can't be real. It can't be real. Okay, wait. So now we're putting this white-esque pink, really light highlight over, first of all, a gold shimmer and over these brownie products. Gray, that is going to be ashy, that is going to look Tin Man, it's going to look like conspiracy theorist with a foil hat kind of color. Where are we applying this product is everywhere. Look, gray. Look down, look down. Mascara, eyes open, chin up on your client, look down. So much easier for your client. They can blink if they need to and there's no worries. But as a makeup artist, you should be giving instructions to your client, and also that should be a disposable mascara wand. Get a variation of disposables because they do different things. And if, again, a pack on Amazon for $1, include it in your price if you can't afford them. $1 and you have like 100. You know what I mean? Disposable. So we've just used 3 different mascaras that have possibly been on 3 different clients before this one, and everyone's touching everyone's eyes. What kind of things are festering in those mascara tubes?
C'est bon.
Merci.
Juste nettoyer après avec votre lingette, votre cheveux, s'il te plaît.
Ah oui, je sais, ouais.
So that was a strange one, I have to be honest. Makeup like that is fine. Sitting at home, playing with makeup, doing whatever. However, this is more about paying for the service. You're going to a party, you're going to dinner, you're paying somebody to do something because you possibly either want to do something nice for yourself or maybe you can't do it so much yourself. If you are going to offer to charge for a service, make sure you can do it. I don't go around building people's houses. I don't go around pretending I can cook and serving people dinner. As I said, the link to the full video will be down below in the description box. Do consider subscribing, giving this video a thumbs up. I would love to know what you think of the final look down below. And I will see you very, very soon. Bye.